welcome back to another nail vlog. It is the beginning of autumn, my favorite season, so I definitely wanted to do something autumny, you know, just to get into the festivities of it all. I really do love autumn. I love everything about autumn, the colors, everything about autumn. If you watch my vlogs, you already know how much I love autumn, so we're not going to talk about it, okay? So the first things we need to do is head on over into my nail area. I always do my nails in my office, so let's go ahead and just prep and get the nails started, and we're going to come on back and put them on in the living room. But for like designing and stuff like that, I see a lot better in the office. Like the office has like the best light, and plus I can just sit there and I watch my favorite show and I just chill out and I get into a vibe, because these nubs, what is this? No sir, come and go do nails.
Okay, so let's get started. So this is the old set. So before I do anything, I always like to remove my nails before I prep my new set, for the simple fact that I like to have my nails naked so I can actually measure the nails and then go from there. We're gonna remove these, and for the solution that I'm using this glue off that I get here in Japan. They also have one, I think Sally Hansen has one. I'm pretty sure it's the same ingredients. Anyways, you just wanna drop this around the cuticle area, wait for like 30 seconds, and then go in and start to pry it off. And if it's giving you any kind of resistance, I like to kind of like just wedge the cuticle remover thing down into the nail and make sure I drop some more solution into the nail. That way it gets under the nail bed. The nail, can you slow down? Is going to lift right off. It's super easy, and it's not damaging to the nail at all. As you can tell, my nails are still intact. I do still have some glue residue, but we're going to clean all of that up later on. It's very easy. Just drop the solution around the nail bed, let it sit for like 30 seconds before you go in and pry it off. And if it's giving you any form of resistance, just use your cuticle pusher to pry the nail up a little bit and drop some more solution so the solution can get down onto the nail bed, and it should lift off really easy. These are super easy to come off, and yeah, this is how I remove my nails all the time, especially since I am using glue. If you want to do the soak off method, you can totally do that, but for me, I find that this is just a lot quicker and a lot easier, and it just really works. So I'm just gonna go ahead and remove all of my nails, and then we're gonna get into the prepping and painting of the new set. Super easy. So these are the nails that I'm using. I'm using full covered nails. I found these on Amazon, and I am going for a coffin type of shape. The nails like this are fine. If you want, you can go in with builder gel, but instead of using builder gel, I like to use acrylic. I find that acrylic helps to retain the shape. If you know what I'm talking about, like sometimes when you wear these nails during wear and tear, you lose that crisp, sharp edge, and when I apply the acrylic, it doesn't do that. Like the nails will stay nice and sharp throughout the whole entire 4 weeks for the month that I'm gonna wear it. I go in with a good watery type of ball. The ball is not really dry, it's kind of wet, and I'm gonna brush it on as if I'm brushing on gel or like polish, basically. Adding acrylic onto the nail not only gives it extra thickness and strength, but it really does take away from the press-on look. It tends to look a lot more like you went in and got your nails done at the salon. I always start at the tip and brush it back because I need the strength and thickness at the tip of the nail, and you want to make sure that this application is seamless and even. All you want to do after this is go in and buff the nail. You don't want to be filing and stuff like that. Now you can't really see it, but this acrylic actually has like some glitter particles, and this is a full cover nude acrylic. I find that it's really pretty, and when I use this particular nail with this acrylic, I don't need to go in with a nude base coat to do the type of style that I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be doing like a French tip. Your girl is basic and she loves a good French tip. So like I said, you just want to go in with the buffer and smoothen the nail out, and at the very tip then you want to go in with your file to make sure that the edge is nice and sharp and straight. And this step should be really easy. Once the acrylic is applied perfectly and not too bulky, you shouldn't be sitting here too long. I like to put it back on the nail to make sure the shape is looking good, and as you can tell, it's already not looking too press-on-y. I put the nails back onto the little stand holder, and because I'm doing a French, I like to put the nails wide apart, like set apart, instead of adding all 5 of the nails back. So I do them in 2s on top of this little nail stand. Because I'm doing a French right now, I'm going in with my base coat, and the base coat is super thin. Okay, make sure that you're applying your polish really nice and thin because you don't want this to be bulky. After you're done with that, make sure you cure it for a full cure, which is basically a minute. These are the polishes that I got. I got this also off of Amazon. Amazon, and this is basically like a fall color type of set. And I'm going in with this rusty orange brown color. And first I like to go in and just paint the tip so I know exactly how deep I want my cut crease to be. Not me using eyeshadow terminology, girl. We're gonna do a really deep cut crease, okay? So I like to go in on the tip, and this is how thick I want my French to be. And then I go in with my detailer brush, and now we're gonna draw the smile lines. I've gotten really good at drawing smile lines. Like, it doesn't take me long, and the process is really, really quick. Practice does makes perfect, okay? Because in the beginning it was not like this, but I have learned over the years what works for me. So you just wanna take your time, get your smile lines nice and sharp and all of that good stuff. So like I said, I'm doing 2 nails at a time on top of the stand, because if there was a nail beside it, more than likely my brush would touch it and mess it up. So I always separate the nails and do 2 nails at a time on top of the nail stand. It just makes it a lot easier, and I can do 2 nails at a time to make sure that they match basically. And I'm gonna go ahead and nuke that. Now for my nails, I only did 1 coat because the nail was already a cover pink. I only needed to do 1 coat, but because the toenails are a little bit more on the sheer side, like this white sheer color underneath, I needed to go in with 2 coats. So 1 coat of this orange for my nails to do the French tip, and 2 coats for my toe. For my toes, I don't do the acrylic. I find that these are actually thick enough just to go ahead and paint. So all I did was apply the base coat and then go in with 2 coats of the polish, and then I'm gonna top it off with a clear coat. Make sure you cure, a full cure in between each step, in between each application. Now I'm gonna wipe off the sticky residue on top, and I'm actually going to buff these one more time, but I'm gonna be using the softest side of the buffer. You just wanna go in and buff really, really lightly. I'm hardly touching the nail, but this is gonna give it more smoothness, as well as it's going to take away from any bulkiness that might be on the nail, because if you know about gel can become really, really bulky, and I want my nails to be straight. I want them to be really, really, what's the word? Okay, I just don't want them to be bulky, and I want the edges and my lines to be super straight because we are doing a coffin shape. And then I go in with my nail file one more time. I'm sorry about the lighting. I had to switch positions because the lighting was not giving. But now you can tell just by buffing the whole entire nail very lightly, they look a lot more sharper and crisper compared to when I just added the gel. And if I left it like that and added the top coat, I find that just filing it, buffing it, and giving it that extra crispiness before I go in and seal everything in makes the nail look really nice and crisp and sharp. Here I'm going in with some flowers. This is the Macart gel glue, and this glue really works when it comes to holding on gems. And I got these flowers also on Amazon, and I felt like these flowers match the nail really nicely. I'm keeping the nails pretty basic, but this is going to be the only design on the index and the ring finger. Sorry that I am not in focus right here, but you soon see exactly what I'm doing. So you want to put on the flowers and you want to move them around, make sure you have them in place, and then you're gonna like just flash cure them so they don't budge while you move on and do the other nail. This just ensures that the flowers doesn't slide around, because if you don't flash cure it like while you're doing the other finger, the flowers will tend to slide and move, and you know, so you want to make sure that if you're putting on gems, you flash cure them right away. And after the flash cure, you're going to want to put them under the machine for a full cure. Flash cure, make sure they stay in place, and then shove them under the machine, and that way you know that your gems are not budging and they're good to go. So everything is nice and cured now. So I'm going to go in with some more of the gel glue, and I'm going to drop a little golden bead down into the well of this flower, because there's a little indent in there to hold like a little bead, and I thought a little bit more sprinkle on the cake, you know, a little razzle dazzle if you must. And for this I'm not going to flash cure because it's going to sit in there and not budge, so I'm just going to stick it right under the machine for a full cure. Now it is time for the top coat to bring back that color, to get that glaze going. This is a non-wipe top coat, so once it's cured, that's it. It's just ready for application. There's no sticky inhibition layer to remove. Apply a generous amount, not too much because you don't want to make it too thick, and then you want to make sure that you cap the edges on the side of the nail and the tip of the nail just to secure your color underneath. That way it's not chipping. And yeah, that's really basically it. Okay, and as for the gems, I'm gonna go around the gem. I'm not gonna paint over them because I don't want to lose the definition of the flower by adding too much gel over it. So I'm gonna paint around it, just taking my time to make sure I don't get too much of the gel polish around it. And I'm gonna go ahead and do my toes as well, and we're gonna cure these for a full minute underneath the big machine. So that's basically how I prep my nails. Super simple, super easy. And if I can do it, you can do it too, girl. Okay, I promise you. And that's how they look. Isn't that pretty? Like, I just can't wait to put them on. But before we do that, we need to prep our natural nail bed. So I'm just going in with my file to remove the cuticle, like any dead skin around there. For this particular set, it's mostly glue because not too long ago I did the first set. So it hasn't even been 4 weeks. It's just been a couple of days. But because the nail polish was chipping, I decided to do them over. After removing all of the cuticle, the dead skin, and the glue, I like to go in and cut the free edge. I don't like to see my nail popping out underneath there. It just gives a much cleaner look. You know, if I wanted to grow out my nails, girl, I would have just been applying gel. Okay, but we're putting on a full set of press-on, so I'm gonna clip the nail from underneath. As long as my nail bed is still healthy, I don't see why I need to keep the nail on there. A lot of people like to keep the nail under their new set. That is not for me. It's just not. Our natural nail stains a lot easier, so I hate seeing like that dingy yellow color under my fresh set. I'm doing the same thing for my toes, and everything I did for my hands, I'm doing for my toes as well. Doing these extra steps really does help to ensure that your press-ons stay for a full month and even longer. I promise you. Okay, if your nails are not staying on properly, it's because you're not prepping them properly.
Okay, the nails are all prepped, and absolutely, you can't tell me I did not do my big one with these. Like, how pretty are those? These are so pretty. Ugh, I just love the color. At first I was kind of iffy about the color because it's kind of like a rusty orange, but at the same time it kind of puts me in the mind of, no, I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it because I don't want to put the image in your mind and then you be like, ooh, no. So it is time to put them on. So I am fresh out of the shower. Okay, and I feel so dry. The one thing I don't do whenever I'm doing my nails is put on body lotion or anything like that. I just hop right out of the shower, do what I'm doing, and I come and put on my nails. But I wanted to get a little cute for this, so I did do my face, and that's about it. So there's no oils on my body. You get what I'm saying? To seep down onto my hands, or for me to get fidgety, scratch something, and then add oils to my nails. So whenever I do my nails, I always go and I take a shower, get all the dust off of me, get the acrylic scent off of me, get really nice and fresh and clean from my new set, because once I put them on, I just want to relax, watch my favorite show, eat something really, really good. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a part of self-care. Okay, this is how I do it at least. So I cannot wait to finish this so I can go and put on some oil because, honey, I am dry. I have my alcohol, so what I'm gonna do is spray my toes, wipe them down. Even though I know they're clean and they're dry, this is just another step to ensure that the nails stick on. So let's just get started in the application. It's really, really simple, and I have my timer here. I like to set it to 2 minutes because I'm gonna sit here and make sure that that glue is fully set. The glue that I use is by MacBook, and I keep them in the fridge. I buy the 40 set and I keep them in the fridge. If you want this to last long, don't keep it at room temperature, because I've done that before, and I find that when I'm getting down to like the last package to open, because it's 40, like when I'm getting down to like the last 10, I notice that the glue thickens up and it doesn't stick as well, like it has lost all of its power. Okay, but I find that keeping them in the fridge keeps them fresh, and once you take it out, that is you see what I'm saying, like it just stays really, really fresh. So I keep them in the fridge and it works. So I'm gonna take out one, and then I'm gonna put the rest back into the fridge with the rest of its family, because I'm sure it's lonely. Anyways, yeah, the glue that I use is the MacBook glue, and this is what it looks like. So it's the pink one. Really, really, really good glue. Your nails are going to stay on for a whole entire month if you prep and do all of the proper steps with this particular glue. They did their big one with this. This is really, really good. Okay, very, very Demi Moore. Okay. Can we not? Anyway, so yeah, let's just get started because I'm just rambling. Okay, so I'm gonna put on my show, and let's get into the toes and the whole application. Let's just do it.
Okay, so now I'm fresh out of the shower, all clean and ready for my new set. So first I sprayed with alcohol just to make sure there's nothing oily on the surface, and then I go in and just buff the nail with the file. I'm just roughing up the surface so that the nails will have something to stick to. A dehydrator is so essential to making sure that your press-ons stay on a lot longer. I find that doing these extra steps really does ensure the longevity of the nail. So I like to put on a little bit of the glue on my toenails as well as the false nail, and then for my toes, I cut up some old rag, okay, just in little squares, and instead of me sitting there and holding it down for the full 2 minutes, I put a clothespin on there. Listen, this is just the little home tricks that I do, okay, so I can get to my hands a lot quicker, and by the time I'm done, it's been way over 2 minutes, so I can just remove them and like file them and stuff like that. But this just helps me to move on to each toenail a lot quicker. Instead of sitting there and holding each nail for 2 minutes, the clothespin and the cloth will do that. The cloth is literally there just to ensure that the clothespin doesn't fly off, because the surface of the nail is smooth. If I just try to hold it down with the clothespin, it's going to slip right off and fly off and go somewhere, okay? So I move on to my next foot. So by the time I'm done with that, it's been way over 2 minutes, so I can come back, remove this little tab thingamajiggy. I'm going to cut the nail a little bit shorter because this is just a little bit too long and I want them to look like they were done in the salon. So you got to clip them and file them. And to file them, I like to use the softer side of this nail file. Now this nail file is very abrasive, but it does have a softer side, so I like to use the soft side just to make sure that the line and the edge of the nail is super straight. And when I'm done with that, I'm going to go in with my acetone. Doesn't that look good already though? Look at that, that's pretty. And then I'm gonna go in with my acetone just to remove any excess glue around the nail so it looks really nice and clean. Using the acetone like this is not going to melt the gel polish. In order for acetone to melt the gel polish, it needs a little bit of heat and it needs to sit there for a long time. So you can go right in and just clean up that excess glue to get that off of like around the skin and stuff like that, so your nails can look really nice and fresh. Everything that I did for my toes, I did for my nails, so let's just go right ahead and start to apply them. First, I buffed the nails using the softer side of the nail file, and now I'm going to go in with the dehydrator, and I also wipe my hand down first with the alcohol, just like what I did to my toes. I'm using this little sticky putty to hold the false nail in place while I drop a little bit of glue in there and spread the glue out. Don't just drop it in there. Spread it around the nail so that when they both come in contact with each other, like it's fully covered, like underneath, you know that that glue is everywhere and your nail is fully covered and secure under there. For my nails, I hold them down for the full 2 minutes instead of doing the clothespin method. I take a little bit more time with my hands because I want, they're up top and I'm doing things with my hands, so I need to make sure that it's perfect. Okay, so for my hands, I sit there and I hold each nail for 2 minutes, and I do have my timer on the side to help keep me on track with the time, that I'm not sitting there for too long. But yeah, this is how I do my, look at those 2 nails already. Isn't that pretty? That is so pretty. Anyways, make sure you're spreading the glue all around your nail bed and on the inside of the false nail. I'm telling you, this step is also very important. Don't just drop a little bit of glue on your nail and leave it, and then drop a little bit of glue on the inside of the nail and then no. Spread it out. Spread it from corner to corner, okay? That way when it touches each other, you know your nail is fully secured underneath there. You feel me? Another thing I'm doing is using the back of the nail and really pushing back on my cuticle. Like kind of push it underneath there a little bit. You don't want to do this too hard that it hurts you, because I've been there. You just want to do it to the right amount. Like really push the nail back on the cuticle. And this also gives it that salon look. Like the nails are just going to look perfect. You get what I'm saying? So that's another thing that I'm doing as I go along. I use the back of each and every single nail to push back on the cuticle, and then I lay it flat onto the nail, okay? No gaps in between, all right? I think you can see what I'm doing right here. I'm pushing back and down onto the cuticle, and then I lay the nail down and hold it in place until my timer goes off. So after the nails were applied, just like before, I did use the acetone to clean up around the edges to make sure I don't have any glue on my skin. And now I'm going in with my hand cream to moisturize and all of that good stuff. I like to use hand cream instead of cuticle oil. Don't use cuticle oil when it comes to press-ons, y'all. I promise you, your nails are gonna last a lot longer, okay? Use hand cream. How pretty are these? Look at that. Does that look like press-ons? Get out of here, man. Get out of here.
Okay guys, so I am done with my nails and I am absolutely in love with them. They are they're so pretty and they scream autumn. Like, how beautiful. I love that. Like, I feel like I did my thing with these. Now this is the closest that I can get. Our goal when it comes to anything close to square, it needs to be coffin, it needs to be tapered. You know, it has to go shoot, not shoot. But I love these. I feel like I really did my thing with these, and they match my toes. Y'all already know my toes need to match. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this little nail video. You guys always get on me whenever I do my nails and I don't film it, so this time I made sure that I set aside some time, set up the camera, set up the lights, and get this content for you. And I hope that you guys really like it. Like, I am in love. This is pretty. And anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys really soon on the next one.